Start recording. Stop recording. Button.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everybody is having a spectacular night, and I hope everybody is had a spectacular day today. All right, down to business. So, in this video, we are going to talk about what happens if you break up with your ex, or your ex breaks up with you and doesn't want to talk to you anymore. Now, my one of my friends is going through this right now, so I thought, why don't I make a video and talk about this? I'm gonna tell you something you don't want to do is blow up their phone. If they don't want to talk to you, that's their choice, and there's really nothing you can do. Now, I know this is a hard thing, especially if you still love them, and especially if you still have feelings for them, and,
Camera chooser. Stop recording.
especially
Button.
if you still want to,
Camera chooser. Front facing. Stop recording. Button.
be with them. That can be hard. Some things you can do to cope is really just the simple things that, go out with friends if you can, talk to your friends on the phone, talk to your family, do things that will, try to do things that will try to get your mind off of the fact that, the situation. Again, this is a very hard thing for people, but this is something that is, this is, it happens. But, the big thing is you have to respect, and I told my friend this too, you have to respect the fact that if your ex doesn't want to talk to you anymore, you have to respect that. If you don't, things can get ugly. So you really have to respect the fact that he or she, doesn't want to talk to you anymore. And in reality, guess what? That's their choice, Um, you know, um, so, you have so many people who don't respect, the fact that their ex doesn't want to talk to them anymore. They blow up their phone, they go on their social media, they try to hack into their, I have a friend named Ashley, who I went to Perkins School for the Blind with, and I dated her actually back in 2012 for 3 weeks. One of her ex-boyfriends in 2011 hacked into her Facebook account. Not cool. So, you really gotta just not create a scene. If you live locally to them, don't go to their house. Don't call their family, call your ex's family if you have their numbers, and ask them things, because, that might get back to your ex, and your ex might get really mad at you. It just really can turn ugly. The best thing you can do is to try to move on. Now, that's another thing, okay? Moving on is not easy for some people. I'll use myself for example. My ex girlfriend, Tiffany, who I dated back in 2014, it took me over 2 years to get over her. So there's no, remember, there's no, and maybe people will try to, maybe people will tell you, well, why don't you move on? Well, some people might say, you really should move on, this and that. Well, it takes time to move on, from somebody who you loved. Um, you know, it does. It takes time. It does. It really, it does. It takes time to move on. Um, you can't rush it. You'll move on when you're ready to move on. One thing I don't recommend is to anyone is when a relationship ends to jump right into another one, because you don't want to take any baggage, you know, that you might have had in your last relationship. So these are all things to remember, folks, and I wanted to talk about this because this is an important topic. But do not, if your ex doesn't want to talk to you, if your ex doesn't want to talk to you, if your ex doesn't want to talk to you anymore, don't don't stalk them. Don't go to their house if you live locally to them. Don't call them. If they don't want to talk to you anymore, it just simply means they don't want to talk to you anymore. It means no contact. Maybe they'll reach out to you. You never know what life throws at us. My friend asked me, the one who his name's Sam. He asked me, he's the one who is he's his girl, now ex-girlfriend broke up with him recently, and she doesn't want to talk to him anymore. And I when it happened, he called me and everything, and I told him I'm not with Megan anymore, and he said, well, how do you feel about it? Are you having trouble moving on? Do you miss her? Because my ex doesn't want to talk to me anymore, and I'm having a lot of trouble with that, and I really want to call her, and I really want to talk to her, and I'm having trouble moving on from her. So I told him, and this is the truth, I said, no. I said I didn't need to move on from Megan. I said I was ready for the relationship to end. I told him I'm glad she broke up with me, and I and I told him no, I don't miss her. So you know, and that'll happen. And when someone breaks up with you, you might be happy about the breakup, and that's normal. That's completely normal. To be happy about a breakup. A lot of people aren't happy about breakups, but there's nothing wrong with with being happy about a breakup. That's normal. There's nothing wrong with that. That's normal. So yeah. Anyway, but not to go on and on, but respect you, as hard as it might be for you. Listen, respect the fact if your significant other doesn't want to talk to you anymore. Okay, you need to respect that. You have to. It's not a choice. Okay? It's not a choice. You have to respect that. Like I said, if you don't, things can get ugly for you. Really ugly. And fast. So, you know, this is what you got to do. And you got to move on. You got to. That's important. You have to move on. Okay? You have to. You have to move on. You know? Take your time with it if you need to. You know? And I know, again, I know moving on is not an easy process. I know it's not. But it must be done. You have to move on. You know? And again, a friendly reminder, there is no set time for when you have to move on. It's a process. Remember that. It's a process. It's hard. Moving on is hard. Okay? And remember, I'm talking from experience here. I'm not just talking out of my ass. I'm talking from experience here. Moving on is difficult. Very difficult. You know, it is. So don't be hard on yourself if it's taking you a while to move on. Take the time that you need to move on. Take as much time, take as long as you need to move on. But you have to move on, though. Eventually, you have to move on. Everybody does. So, yep. But anyway, hope you guys take something from this video. I hope it helps. You know, these things are these things are important to talk about, folks. You know, they are. All right, so you all take care.